Welcome, 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 my pregnant and strong team, to episode 5 of the pod. Thank you so much for all the feedback and comments and lovely messages that I've received so far. It really is great to hear that you're loving the pod so much. On today's episode, I interview Katy. She is a co-owner of Alchemy Space with myself, and she has got so much experience in the kind of running a small business world, but also really developing and fostering a kind of pre and postnatal community at Alchemy Space. She has really built this space from the ground up. I'm very, very privileged to be working alongside her and being a bigger part of it now. And I think this episode is like a refreshing little piece of calm in amongst some of the other episodes. You know, we've hit some hard hitting topics, and we will go on to. So I think this episode, Katy brings such a warmth, calm, nurturing kind of vibe. The main focus of this chat is around community and the importance of community, especially for pregnant postpartum women, and how we've really tried to foster this at Alchemy, and the work that Katy and her husband Rex have done building their businesses in Southwest London. But we kind of touch on everything: motherhood, of course, pregnancy, of course. And it's just a really warm chat, and Katy sharing her kind of insights into the importance of community at this time. So I really hope you enjoy it. Hello, my pregnant and strong team. Welcome to another episode. I have Katy with me today. Katy is a friend and a business partner. She's going to tell you all about like what she's created, and I'm very, very lucky to be a part of as we move through this podcast. But we've known each other quite a long time now. I started as a member at the gym that Katy's husband runs at, and that's how we met. And then everything's kind of grown from there, which we'll tell you all about. I'm super excited to have Katy on. She's going to talk about her own experiences. She's a pregnancy yoga teacher with so much experience, and now building a business, well, 2 businesses. But particularly the newer one, I'd say, Katy, is the pre and postnatal aspect of it is a big part of it, isn't it? Like, that's what we're trying to grow.
I'm going to go in with before we get fully into this, the disclaimer starts now. My dog is in the kitchen.
I can hear Mary.
In the pandemic, Mary used to sit, when I did all my classes online, as we all did, Mary would sit under the microphone and either snore or make just like whimpery noises because I wasn't giving her attention. So she's like, she can sense the laptop's here.
Yeah, she's like, I'm back in COVID times. And also, we should say that Mary is like famous in the Elements Alchemy community. So anyone listening to this that knows Katy or I or Elements at the gym, Mary is a bit of a mascot. So, you know, I think she deserves to be the
matriarch of the whole situation.
Yeah, she's the matriarch of the whole shebang. We wouldn't be here without her. She's keeping us all in check.
The absolute linchpin.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe we'll just start with you, Katy, introducing yourself, talking a little bit about you, and also just you in general, and maybe like linking into how you started working in like the pregnancy postnatal space, if that's okay.
Yeah, totally. So I'm Katy, and I have been teaching yoga since 2010. So I started teaching children's yoga, first of all. I've got a degree in applied theatre, drama and education. And that degree took me out to Hong Kong, where I fell in love with yoga. And then when I returned to the UK, I was like, what can I do for my love of drama and education and this newfound love of yoga? So trained as a children's teacher and used to travel around schools in East London. And then in 2011, I did my like proper
yoga teacher training.
My 200-hour teacher training. And and haven't looked back since then, really. I've kind of subsidized it with managing various years. So I managed a little yoga studio in 2015 called Union Station, which was in Clapham. And prior to that was part of like the little leadership team with Lululemon. Before they had launched all of their big stores, they had little showrooms, and my job was amazing. I used to go to yoga classes and give out free clothes and collect teachers to come and teach the community classes and things. So it's kind of all of that kind of stuff has grown into what I do now, which is the Alchemy Space, formerly the Ether Space, in Streatham Village. We're lovingly calling Streatham Village, SW16, and it's very much a community studio. So we have a range of classes, from Pilates, yoga, sound healing, as well as parent and baby classes, and prenatal classes, and a therapy room. And then we do artistic events. So we're looking at wellness in a really holistic sense. So, meditation can be sitting and breathing and clearing your mind, but it can also be pottery for 2 hours, or painting for 2 hours. Just trying to serve the SW16 community as best as we possibly can.
I think that's like, hopefully the bulk of this episode went before we came on camera. I was saying to Katy, like, I really want this episode to focus around community, because I think Alchemy Space is so, as we know, there are many yoga studios, gyms, those kind of things. Whenever I'm talking about both Elements, so just so all the listeners know, Elements is the gym that Katy's husband found. I don't know whether you say founded. Anyway, his business. And then Alchemy Space kind of came for, Katy was doing lots of yoga and developing like that side of the business. And then we found an extra space so we could move that out of a gym surrounded by weights and into just, I taught my first class at Alchemy last week, and I was like, this is where I need to be for a core and pelvic floor class, not surrounded by dumbbells and bikes. So we developed the new space. And I think at the forefront of both spaces and both like businesses has always been, for you and Rex, the community. Why do you think it's so important? Sounds like an obvious question, but
well, I think that it's something everybody's always looking for, isn't it? And especially in London. Both Rex and I grew up. So Rex from the Isle of Wight, and I'm from just outside Oxford. And it was very much a kind of like, you knew everybody in town. You knew everybody. If you went shopping, you knew whose mum and dad was who, and there's a real sense of like, if there's a bake sale, the whole community would come and bake kind of thing, and when you're in London, you can feel a little kind of like a pixel in a big picture, which we all are, obviously. But I think,
but we don't want to feel like that.
But you don't want to feel like that, yeah.
No.
You want, from like my experience running Union Station, for example, a lot of the people who were coming into practice were perhaps people who were single or had just moved to London, and they would express that it's actually really hard sometimes to make friends in London outside of your immediate like working group, because I know for myself, I went to uni in London, I've got my uni mates, I'm friends with some of their friends, and then you get so busy you don't have time to reach out and make more friends. So people were coming to the studio being like,
talking about
that. I need connection with someone else that's not just my work. And then, then we've had so many huge events, things like Brexit, and then obviously the pandemic. And then from the pandemic, lots of people becoming self-employed or working from home. And so even that workspace community suddenly was fractured and nobody's going into the office to go and chat to people. So I think there's this craving for a space that people can come together and have a common interest, like a movement practice or sound healing or, an art workshop, and have this safe space that is just there for people to be together and come together.
Yeah, in lots of different ways. I think from what I think is really special about alchemy in particular, is, like you said, there's this notion of wellness being like, I just do this one thing, like I go to the gym or I do yoga. And I think what alchemy does really well, and I think that's what makes it special, is that there is something for everyone. And also, once you come along and maybe go to like a pottery class, you might see that there's like a movement practice on there that, like you said, that you haven't actually tried yet, but someone else in the class might have done it. So it might encourage you to go along. And that's kind of how things snowball. It was so weird. There was a woman in my prenatal class at alchemy this week, and she had matched with someone on Peanut, which is, if anyone doesn't know, an app for pregnant and is it mums and
I think it's
mums
pre
and
and
pregnant,
post, pre and postnatal.
So it's like Tinder, but for mums and pregnant women. They'd matched on I was just going to say they'd matched on Tinder. They matched on Peanut. Totally different. They matched on Peanut, and she'd said, I've been to a couple of prenatal yoga classes at this studio called Alchemy Space. I'm going to this class. Why don't you come along? And I thought that was such a good example of, people just wanting to find connection with other people, especially going on the same journey. I think like pregnancy in particular, and postpartum, but pregnancy in particular can be quite isolating for a lot of people. Like everyone's just going along on their own journey. You're looking out being like, how is that person doing that? How is that person doing that? And having somewhere where you can go to connect with people that are on the same journey, I think is really important.
Yeah, and when it's like real, you'll be breastfeeding or bottle feeding in the middle of the night and maybe scrolling on Instagram, seeing these perfect lives, and I've just batch cooked 700 cheese pinwheels. And you're like, oh my God, I can't even like...
Yeah, you're like, I can't even open the Haribo.
Yeah. And it's things like, for that lady who matched on Hinge, not Hinge.
That's another dating app, guys. We're just selling all the dating apps.
It's basically a dating app for mums.
It's a dating app for mums. Tinder, Hinge, Peanut.
Yeah, Peanut, yeah. But it's the scariest thing sometimes can just be going into somewhere new and feeling out of your comfort zone. And I think that's what's really important and what's really beautiful that we've seen, especially at the gym, which has been running for a few years now, since 2018?
2018,
because pandemic was 19, wasn't it?
Beginning of 2020.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So 2019, and then once we relocated to the new spot, which will be coming into 4 or 5 years, seeing, friends say, this is not scary. Come and try it out. And we're seeing it now at the alchemy space as well. Like the hardest thing anyone can do is actually just get into the space. Yeah. And arrive and come to a class. So if you have the encouragement of somebody who's already been, and that's where it's really nice that it's been such an organic growth for both sites, because we haven't really pushed doing huge marketing things. Some people will be like, what are you doing? Like, we're
smiling at each other.
Yeah. But I think what's really nice is when you've got true organic growth, that's where community really, really is authentic, and people want to come, and people make friendship groups and, get married. We've had our first wedding
published in the Times. Yes. Published in the Times this week as well. Got a little shout out. Yeah. It is an amazing. it is really special. And I think before I move on to asking you like specifically about pre and postnatal, I think what is also amazing is like how the community can grow and really organically. I think you're right. In a world of like social media bombardment, it's interesting because I've just started obviously my new classes at Alchemy and a space in Brockley. And I actually asked the postnatal women like last week that came to my class, how did you find me? So guys, was it my Instagram reel that I spent 2 hours making because I'm useless? And they were like, oh no, it was that like message you posted on the WhatsApp group. And we always talk about this, don't we, Katy? Like, there's all this pressure on like marketing strategies and Instagram and how many followers you got. And actually both spaces in Streatham have grown because Rex and Katy have provided something the community want, which is like connection and fun, doing something fun all together and, a variety of classes that they can do. And I think there's a lot to be said for that, I think. And it can get lost. I think
it's also, it's the people you attract with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we've got just in both spaces an amazing community, and everyone's so inviting and so encouraging of each other, and so
and very diverse
and really diverse.
I think like male female mix of ages, which I think is can lessen the intimidating factor of a space. If you have like all one, I love this studio in central London. I've done a lot of their online workouts. It's a spin studio, but they also do yoga and strength. And I love it. It's very shiny, so I don't go there very often, and it's in central London. But when I go there, I'm like, okay, I don't fit in here. Like all these women are like in their 20s. They're all wearing matching Lululemon. It's just a very like one-dimensional, it's a community, like you can definitely tell there's a big community there. But I think the special thing that you guys have created is like this, it's not like people that come to the gym or Alchemy space it's not a one-dimensional thing. It's like anyone can come because look at all these people that have come to feel better and they all look different. So,
they all move differently. And that's like a testament to our coaching team and the teachers at Alchemy as well, and Rex's programming and like making everything so scalable.
Yeah, exactly.
And
inviting people in.
True passion to just be like, we just want to get people moving.
Yeah.
Rather than like, it's got to look like this. It's got to be shiny, polished. It's like, no, we just want to get people healthy and moving and happy in their minds. Because their body is feeling okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So when moving on to like pregnancy and postpartum specific, when did your interest in kind of prenatal, postnatal, I guess it started with yoga, but when did that kind of start?
I think it sparked really. I mean, like I did my first pre and postnatal training, like not too long after I did my 200 hours, just because I was like, oh my God, what if a pregnant person comes in?
Yeah. I need to know.
I won't know what to do with them. Turns out you don't need to change an awful lot.
Don't do that twist.
Plot twist. They're not sick. They're just pregnant. But I think it really, so I did that training and it just kind of feel a bit more at ease if somebody did come in and feel like I knew what I was doing. But it really sparked when my twin sister became pregnant. So prenatally, like wanting to try and support her, realizing all the aches and pains that she was going through. And then I was really lucky to be at the birth of both of her girls. And then obviously becoming an aunt and wanted to help my sister postnatally. I think as soon as things become so relatable, your interest is a bit more sparked. Then when I became pregnant, my interest expanded even more because I understood more what it meant to be a mum.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just like trying to support the people in your class. It's a very real, tangible, you know, experience related to you personally, either someone you're related to or yourself, for sure.
Yeah. So I think in terms of like the offering that we have at Alchemy and an Element, so what we didn't touch on earlier is obviously the gym opened in Streatham. It was very much Rex's business. And when I became pregnant, or when I had Roxy, there was a change of landlords. Was there not? And
this was
change
a fun time.
Was not great for everybody.
No, we wouldn't say it was we don't look back on this time as a positive experience.
No, it was quite traumatic. So Roxy was probably about 6 months then. There was this disbandment of the whole building. Rex didn't leave the building. So we were in a unit with another yoga studio and a cafe. They were lucky enough to have 2 other businesses that they could lean on. We were like, oh my God, all our eggs are in one basket. I'm on maternity leave. So we were like, what can we do to get some money whilst we're searching to relocate? So I started teaching postnatal yoga with Roxy, because I was like, well, I can be the fifth element, ether. We can bring in yoga. I'm going to sit and breastfeed my child whilst I teach a bunch of other mum.
I've been there. Sorry, you just
like,
carry on with that
understanding crew.
Yeah, exactly.
So Roxy
totally
was pivotal in really increasing the interest of the offering of postnatal things. But it was really nice that you can do that. You know, like it's real. You have to go to work. I have to have my child at work. So this is the reality. And I'm with a bunch of very understanding people who also want to come to a yoga class, but also need to stop halfway through the class to change a nappy or to breastfeed or whatever it may be. And so, then when we relocated and I was teaching out of the gym, we brought on the Pilates class. And then when we had our own dedicated space, when we shifted to opening Alchemy, that's when it was like, okay, right, we've now got the room and capacity to add lots more to this offering. And it's been really well received and needed in the area. And it's amazing, you know, when people eventually come off of the maternity leave and have to go back to work and little ones going to nursery or whatnot, the amount of parents that send messages saying like, this has been a real lifesaver through the past 9 months. I don't know what I'd have done without having this kind of part of my day. I needed this in my routine. I needed a reason to leave the house. And then I've made friends through this. And you see these friendships being formed.
It is amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's so nice.
I think
and then you see them further down the line.
Yeah.
Like, you know, a bunch of the kids turned 1 the other week and they all had a shared soft play party together. It's just like, it's lovely. So you're creating community like with the mums, but also then the kids as well. It's so nice. Yeah.
And I think how we've always talked about it, Katy, is like this journey. And I really noticed this last week when I was back coaching, because I've been away for a few weeks, back coaching my Pregnant and Strong class, and just like the women in there being like, well, you know, in a few weeks we won't be coming to this class, but we were going to the postnatal. And they're like, you know, what membership? And like for us, it's obviously like part of our business, you know, running our business, that we want it to be this like pathway, but also like that's what we really wanted to create, is supporting women from pregnancy. And obviously we've got lots of women that just continue to train at the gym and do their classes, which we want to encourage. That's amazing. But going to these specific prenatal classes, forming these relationships, because going to a gym, this is what I've really noticed as well with the specific classes that we've developed, is going to the gym and carrying on with the class is exactly what you should do if you already train. That's what I do. That's what like lots of our members do. But going to a pregnancy class, we just chat. And I think because I've also been pregnant the whole time I've been coaching these classes at Elements, it is just the chat. It's just being the people going through the same thing, not being in a room of people where you might be thinking, if you're anything like me, and I can think of one member in particular who trains quite hard as well and is exactly the same stage of pregnancy as me at the moment, who's soldiering on in those like gym classes, but probably just feeling like I'm the only person in here that's pregnant. Like, yes, it's adapted, but, you know, I'm just not, you know, like today I was at CrossFit and I was just like, oh my God, I mean, look at me compared to like everyone else. Whereas you go to a pregnancy class, you can ask those questions. You can chat to the other women about like how you're feeling.
Yeah.
You know, what symptoms you've got, like how it's going. And I think that is the most, like the workout, yes, you know, having someone with expertise to coach you through movement safely is really important. But coming back to the community that we're trying to create, it's all about, that's why the women come to that class, because there's women coming to those classes that train normally at the gym, and they're coming to those classes on top of that because they want to chat about, have a shared experience with people going through the same thing.
Yeah. And I think there's a slight difference, like with the fitness in the gym, you've got people who are already coming to the gym and want to continue their training, and then have that space to, you know, in the pregnant and strong classes, to talk about, you know, their pelvic girdle pain that they're probably not going to talk to the other coaches about in such great detail. But then places like Alchemy, you'll often get midwives and doctors and GPs referring people to come to a yoga class or come and start Pilates. So they're starting a movement practice that they've never done before with this body that is constantly changing and feels so different. So it's important for them to have that space where they can learn what feels good, what the movements are in the first place, you know, and not be and be with other pregnant people, and not just be in a class with general public being like, oh, like I'm a beginner and I'm navigating this whole mental and physical minefield. And what's been nice is seeing people come to the prenatal classes and then starting to feel more confident then to be like, oh, actually, now I kind of know what I'm doing and how I'm feeling. I'm going to go into this non-prenatal class as well. Yeah. So they know they've got the space to be like, this is my specific prenatal, connect with the baby, learn things specifically prenatal, but then have the tools to move that into the other classes and other movement practices and stuff as well.
Definitely. And I think that's a really important point, Katy, because I think we've had lots of conversations about like particularly how to, and I don't mean attract, I mean like how to reach.
Back on the Hinge again.
We're back on Hinge. How to reach those pregnant women, particularly the ones that aren't already members at our gym or any gym for that matter, or I'm already regularly practicing yoga or Pilates. And actually, we also want to support those women. Like, if anything, more so, like we want to get those women in and, you know, support them and help them feel confident and empower them. And actually, I have had I've obviously got some like existing members coming to the Pregnant and Strong class, which is the class we run at Elements. But I've also got, in the Alchemy space and in the Pregnant and Strong class, so my prenatal core and pelvic floor class that I've started, and the class at the gym, the Pregnant and Strong, there's also women that have come that are like, I've never lifted weights before, or and the women that came to my core and pelvic floor class, it was brilliant. They were like, well, I realized I didn't know what my pelvic floor was, so I was like, I better come to this class. And some of them had trained before, and some of them hadn't done any form of strength training or any training before. And I think that really shows that we have always said there's a need for, you know, this support for women prenatally. And these conversations that we're having in both Alchemy and the gym are showing us that, I think, you know, that regardless of your experience. And I think that's so key what you said, that there's no reason why you can't start yoga in pregnancy and then go to a regular yoga class once you know what's safe and what your body is capable of. But having that safe space to go to a specific class, the fact we offer both of that, I think is...
And I think it kind of relates back to what we were saying earlier, which is the hardest part is coming to the class. Once you're in the class, you're just being told what to do. But the scary
it's actually easy.
is getting there. It's whether it's the first steps of like, I've never been into a gym before. I've never been to yoga or Pilates before. And I feel really uncomfortable at the thought of doing it. Or like, you know, even if you have been, but you're like, I'm just really tired. The effort of going to class. Once you're in there, it's all happening. So I think it's like, things like having a diverse offering, so things like having the core and pelvic floor might attract people who really, you know, they might have had a prelapse, they might have been suffering in different types of ways, they might just want to get their abs back, you know, but it's, they want to come in, and the fear of going into a new space, the wants has overrides the fear. You know, then they're in the space and they go, oh, actually, this is not as scary and intimidating. And actually, the people who are here are all really nice, you know. So it's, it's going back to that, the fear of trying something new.
And did your experience in pregnancy have any, and postnatal, like your personal experience, have any bearing on this? Because before we go any further, what I also think is amazing about Alchemy in terms of postnatal, we've talked about diverse offering for both prenatal and postnatal. So prenatal, we offer like a strength-based class, prenatal yoga, prenatal core and pelvic floor. And then postnatal, there's just a huge range of classes. And actually what you said about the feedback about having something in your day, so many of the women have said to me, even in the last week, since I've been back coaching there, it's given me, it's allowed me this like opportunity that every day I have to be somewhere at a certain time. And if anyone's had a kid, always like in the depths of postnatal, sounds, before you have one, you're like, what's everyone talking about? And then once you have a kid, you're like, oh, like I cannot be anywhere at a certain time. There's one lady in particular, she came to my core class on Wednesday and then she came to the fitness class on Thursday. She's got a very small baby and she was like, I'm just so proud of myself. Like, that's twice in 1 week I've left the house. But because we offer something every single day postnatally, it's actually amazing for those women, because if they want, they can be a part of something every day if they wanted, and have that around. Did that stem from, because I think that's really unusual. I don't think there's many spaces that have that. I think, did that stem from like your own experience, or how did?
Yeah, I mean, like, because with the yoga and Pilates kind of come quite naturally together, like you'd find in a yoga studio or whatnot. But things like adding like the sling and sway, which is like you bring your baby and put them in the baby carrier and have a little dance. And then things like the music movement and massage, that class in particular, when Roxy had just been born and I was like, I need to work and get some money. I hired out like rooms in a pub, and I got my friend Kath Kath, who we co-run it together now, this music class. But sometimes we'd get a violinist in, sometimes get different musicians in, so that there's baby sensory kind of elements to it. And then I trained, I think when I was pregnant, was it during the pandemic? I trained in baby massage. So I was like, what can we do that's like baby massage, bit of movement and singing. I started going to like a baby Macathon class with Roxy. I was like, this is really good. It can be incorporated into so much stuff. So we're kind of all amalgamated into this one class, and then we're like, let's get the parachute, let's get the bubble machine. Kath's an amazing musician. She can she's made up different like hybrids of different songs, which is amazing. And originally I was just with Roxy I just wanted to move around, but she really didn't want me to put her down. So I'd be like, jump, goes, just like use her as a little weight and sing and interact with her. But it gave me the opportunity to move a bit as well. And I had quite a difficult postpartum journey. So I wasn't as motivated to go to yoga classes and get in to a gym and things like that. I just, because I basically had really, really severe preeclampsia, and then after that, learning about a couple of different health complications, which meant I just didn't have the energy to do things. And I didn't, mentally, I just didn't have the mental capacity. And then there was also you're a yoga teacher, you should be, doing all the baby yoga classes and bouncing back to your, pre whatever body, that kind of.
Yeah. Can't wait for that in a few weeks.
Stuff, yeah.
I'm
like, so Roxy's almost 4 and I'm still not. My body is a different body. I'm not going to be. I now made peace with the fact that I'm not going to be my size 6 Lululemon anymore. I'm going to be, this motherly body.
And look what our bodies have done.
Yeah, made a person.
Made a person.
Is going to be different
person.
forever.
Yeah. My hips are not going to be the same. And that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. But so I think that I was just really keen to put on a variety of different things, and it not to be, because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
If you want to get your yoga membership, you want to go to baby massage, you want to go to
and you're on maternity leave,
and you're like, I've got no money.
I've literally got no money, and I've got loads, and I've got more time.
I need a focus to my day, and so I thought it'd be nice to have a really diverse offering where you can use the same membership to do lots of different things.
And I also think what it does, which again, like from a business perspective, we talk a lot about this, just also from our passion of supporting women, is this like idea of accessibility and we know the benefits of moving pre and postnatally, and trying to find ways of engaging women to do that might not be like your traditional athlete or yogi, like having a diverse offering means someone might just see like the baby massage and movement class and come to that.
Yeah.
And then, some women in the class are like, oh, I'm going to go to, postnatal Pilates. And I firmly believe that is how we can support women to start thinking about these things postnatally. Because this same woman that was saying about leaving the house and getting there was like, I've literally never lifted weights, but I saw the fitness program on the timetable, and I was like, well, I've got the membership, I'm going to give it a go.
Give it a go.
He was smashing it. And she's like, I've never done this before pregnancy. And she's like, I feel so good. So I think it's, once you can sort of like create that community and engage those women in a non-intimidating kind of way of, we offer lots of different things, you then have the capacity to start having conversations of like, oh, it would, I've been to this class and it's really great. Or, you start having a conversation with one of the coaches or instructors, and I think that is another huge benefit of the diversity that's being created at Alchemy, definitely.
And I think what's really nice is, a lot of the people who come to classes are first time parents. And it's like, well, I'm new to being a parent. I'm also new to going to the gym. This kind of outlook of like, I can do anything.
I'm in my beginner phase, and I'm loving it.
I'm sustaining a person. Like, my life is so radically different. And maybe I can pick up a weight.
Exactly. That's true. That's true. And just on the back of that, and this is like from a like your business head, but also from just your personal experience, I think it's always useful to share like some practical stuff. Are there any tools when you were going through your pregnancy and postpartum that you found were like not non-negotiable, but really, really helped you? Because you were saying about like, motivation and not, I think there's going to be a lot of people listening that are like, oh God, either in pregnancy or postpartum, like the thought of actually going to a class. We've talked about that's the hardest bit. But was there any other tools that you found really useful at that time?
I think for myself, it was just little and often.
So true.
If you don't feel, if you're sleep deprived and you're like, I can't make it out of the house in time to get to this class. I and it's okay if you don't have the motivation. Like,
Yeah.
be kind to yourself. It's a huge shift and a huge change. Whether you're having 1, 2, 3, is always a new dynamic to how your life is running. So things like just little practices. So things like dancing with Roxy and using her as a little weight. So a 5-minute song here and there just to get blood moving and endorphins flowing, especially if I was feeling super tired or sometimes super down. Just a bit of movement.
Yeah.
Jump around, sing a song. Sing a song, you know.
Yeah, singing and dancing around is so underrated.
Jumping is all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Little and often. Even if it's like our bodies know, you know, if your chest is hurting, your pecs are hurting, then you naturally want to stretch and do this. So it's kind of like, that's what your body needs and wants. And be kind to yourself and trust yourself, and don't try and take on too much.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that hours class. Even if you know, I'll have people come to class and they'll say, I'm just so tired. I'm like, just lie down for a bit.
Yeah.
You come out the house. Your big thing is you come out the house.
Yeah.
You know, that's great. You're here with other people. Have a sleep if you want to have a sleep. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just set little targets, and those little targets will naturally get bigger.
Yeah.
You know, but not to put any pressure on yourself. Remember, I went to like the baby sign class when Roxy was like 4 weeks or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, I should be getting out the house. Is what I should be doing.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to walk after my C-section things. And, you know, the mums in the class were like, how old is your baby? Well, I'm being at you.
Yeah, I know. People always look at you as if like...
Yeah. Like, and I was like, oh, so this is not normal. When am I supposed to start coming to class? And it's like, there's no supposed to. Just do things at your own time. Even things like the sleep schedule, the feeding schedule, the co-sleeping, you know, whatever it is, do what feels right. And don't compare yourself to other people.
Yeah, I think it's really hard not to do that. And we've kind of touched on that in like the social media rabbit hole, but it is really hard. I feel like everywhere you look, and I'm obviously being completely bombarded with like pregnancy content because my work is like 99% pregnancy and I'm pregnant, so I'm like, can't get away from it. But there's always someone doing something that to you seems, you know, ridiculous for many reasons. And I think it's about like what small things, exactly like you said, little and often. I have all those conversations with clients. I'm like, something small can make a huge difference. So like I started in the depths of like sleep deprivation. I started having like this cold shower. I've talked about it on lots of episodes so far. Like a minute at the end of my shower, put the water on cold and do this like quite energizing breath work. And it was literally a minute out of my day. But sometimes it would be like, okay, that's kind of got me out of this brain fog, you know, like, because I'm so tired and I don't know how many hours I've slept or not slept. And I think it's just having all these like tiny little things that you can do, whilst also knowing if none of them work, that's also completely normal. If you're like, I've tried the cold shower, I've tried the walk outside, I've put my face in the sunlight, and still I feel like a zombie.
Go to sleep. And we're obviously we're in the industry of like, get moving. And also, it is so important to just give yourself a break and just go to sleep.
Yeah. 100%. I'm so terrible at doing that. My husband's
I'm pretty good at it.
You could have a nap. You could have a nap. And I'm like, nap? I've got these 10 things I need to do. No. But you're right. I think, I think we talked a bit about like first baby, you know, lots of the women that I'm meeting in classes, it's their first baby. And there's this whole sort of second guessing yourself of exactly like you said, like, when do I start going to classes? When do I start doing certain things? And I'm sort of hoping this time round I maybe will free myself a little bit more to be like, you don't have to be anywhere. You don't have to do anything. Like, just
I don't know, how are you feeling with, because did you do like NCT bump and baby?
No.
So no,
didn't do any of that because I wasn't here.
So
I kind of didn't have that, and I haven't got like a grew, and because I went back to work, you know, self-employed like you, I was like 2 weeks off clients, back with clients, back working again. I didn't really have that like network of mum friends. I'm very lucky that like lots of my good friends just have had kids at a similar time. So there's lots of people around that I spend time with kids similar age, but I haven't had that like bonding experience centered around my baby, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing NCT this time. But yeah, did you do NCT?
I did. I did
Bump
and Baby, and it's a real like luck of the draw thing because you'd never choose your friendship group based on your birthday.
No.
You know,
that's actually so true.
Yeah, so we were really, really incredibly lucky that our Bump and Baby were all like really nice.
Yeah, amazing.
But you hear stories where it's just not the case, you know. And I think for a lot of parents, like the second time round, they're like, well, I don't need to do NCT. I don't need to do Bump and Baby and stuff again. So that's why having these kind of classes are important, because it can be so lonely.
Yeah.
You can feel really isolated.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that forced group of friends,
you know,
you're all giving birth at the same time. You know, you want to be able to talk to people and say like, oh God, they're teething.
Yeah.
I think they're teething. I don't know. And like even as a second time parent, there's no rule book. You've got a different child, so the different kid is going to act in a different way. You know, we've got so many mums coming in who are on their second or third.
Yeah, definitely.
Is a different story. I was not expecting this, and then they have that space and community to connect with, and actually, you know, you do choose your friendship group sometimes a bit more with this is a common interest. So whether you're going to a yoga, you know, or a fitness, or you know, there's a lovely a parent and baby singing choir around here. You know, everybody wants to sing. Maybe you like your dog walks. So you know, if you can find that group of people where there's a shared interest, and then you can just connect and like talk.
Yeah.
And
100%.
It's not just the highlights. It's like I'm tired and I feel overwhelmed, and then sometimes it's hearing that validation from other parents. Like,
100%.
Me too. You're like, oh God,
it's not
just
just
me.
Yeah, it's not just me. Yeah, because that's the isolating thing, isn't it?
And it doesn't stop because they grow, and it's a different thing. You know, Roxy's just had knits, and it's just like, oh my God, just texting my mates being like, oh my God, what's happening? Is anyone else's kids? You know, or like, there's a constant different thing.
Yeah.
They get into their, you know, teenager stage, or they terrible.
Exactly. Oh God.
Then it's like, oh my God, it's the schools, and you know, it's an evolution.
Yeah. And you have that network of people to be able to lean on to talk about those things. Yeah, for sure. What would this is quite a big question, but I'm just going to ask, what's your vision for the future for alchemy, and elements can be included, but like your business pre and postnatally, like what would you like to create for the women that you have created such a special thing already for in our community? Where would you like to see it go?
Well, I think it would be really cool to have like Gaia, which would be Gaia obviously being Mother Earth, to have a specific site where, you know, there's parent and baby pre and postnatal classes, but also, you know, at Alchemy we've started doing children's sound baths, and we're going to start bringing in children's yoga classes again, and things like that. But have a dedicated space where it is like, this is like the family zone. Yeah. As much as I love having the toddlers and the kids in this space. But someone asked me to do, they were like, you're going to do like one of your arty events with the kids? And
no,
like,
not in that space.
Crisis.
It looks too nice.
I just
it's
needed
very
to
white
be nice
and clean. We're not having them in there.
I just need that. So to have a space where it's like, you know, it is super, super, super duper family oriented kind of thing.
And the whole journey from start all the way through.
All the way through.
It's definitely a dream of ours, isn't it? And And I find it quite remarkable, actually, sometimes that so we need to hurry up and do it, Katie. Is that well, as long as it's not going to put us into like breakdown mode, that there isn't, there are so many people on this life journey, and that there isn't a dedicated space. And we've talked about this, that our vision would be like all under one roof. Yes, obviously the pre and postnatal classes that you can get in lots of different places, like prenatal yoga, postnatal fitness, Pilates. But actually bigger than that, for me, an important aspect of it is the like healthcare side of it and like the holistic side of it. So women's health physios, therapists, it's all connected. And I personally feel, I'm not sure if you feel the same, that it's that whole space and the care around women from the prenatal journey and beyond and families is still very just disjointed and not accessible to everyone, A, financially, and B, just the knowledge of, can I access a women's health physio? Like, what do I even do to do that? Or, I've been feeling really shit. Like, should I be seeing a therapist or not? Or, like whatever those things are. Nutrition.
So we've got obviously at the alchemy space, we've got our little therapy room, haven't we? That gets hired out to be
which is amazing. And
mummy MATs and nutritionists and psychotherapists and massage. But it would be really cool to have like, as when people know this is a dedicated space where they can access all of these things. And is it, a case where it could be even like part charity, so that things like mummy MOTs and what have you, and talking therapies could be subsidized in some capacity so that it is way more accessible to everybody.
Big dreams. And finally, I always ask my guests to share a few things. So we've already talked about like some practical tips, and I think there's so much all the way through. Even if it is just you're listening to this and you're like, I don't know where to start, you just have a look wherever you're listening to this. If you're in South London, come to us. But if you're not, you just go, what is there out there that I can go and join just to be part of a community? But are there any other resources of people? We've talked about the negatives of social media. Any like resources or things, accounts, or even books, or anybody that's inspired you or that you think would be a positive influence for someone listening that's either pre or postnatal?
Do you know, where is it? My friend gave me this amazing book. Where is it? Over there. 1 second. It's 1 second.
Oh, you're going to get it. We're going to see it in the flesh. I like this.
The First 40 Days.
Oh, I've not heard of that one.
Oh, you can have this.
Oh,
this one to you.
I'll be madly ordering that on Amazon.
And it's The Essential Art of Nourishing a New Mother. And it talks about the fourth trimester and all the different kind of nutrients we need, and and how it talks a lot about how that there's that fourth trimester that we should just be we
hunkering down,
be like, go, I need to get out and be my old self again or whatever. It's a really, really lovely book.
Okay, amazing. Okay, I'm going to put that in there.
And then, do you know what? I just think like funny content on Instagram.
Yeah, so I was going to say that.
I can't. I'm terrible at remembering handles and stuff, but there's a load of just funny stuff. Yeah,
light in the load.
Yeah, and it's relatable. It's like and it's not just this is what you should be doing.
Exactly. Kind of using social media as like entertainment rather than like comparison culture or finding the next tip that's going to solve your 4-month sleep regression.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. And where can we find you?
Oh, so you can find me in Streatham.
Streatham Village. Rocking around Streatham Village.
In either one of the coffee shops there, maybe the pub, but also at the Alchemy Space at SW16 5NP.
I'm going to add the Instagram of that.
And that's basically where you'll find me.
Amazing. This was, I think, what always strikes me about whenever I chat to you, Katy, is your like calm, just like warm, supportive nature. And I just think that comes across in the space that you've created, and the people that come to that space. So I just think like that's just an amazing quality to have. And that's how people want to feel at that time. So yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, no, you're welcome. Thanks for having me on the podcast.
Of course. Thank you. Take care.
Take care.
Thank you so much for listening, my Pregnant and Strong team, to another episode. It's fantastic to have you here. I'd love you to subscribe and share. It's going to help us spread the message far and wide, and also just share with anyone you know that might be on this journey, because I know there's not so much out there about these kind of topics that we're talking about on this podcast. So I'd really love you to share an episode or the link with someone you know, a friend or family member, and I'm really hoping it brings you some help, support, comfort at this stage. And please do comment, get in touch on Instagram. All the details are in the show notes, and I'll see you next week.